Coach, thank you so much for joining us on the call today. If you would take a minute to tie up the trip to Philadelphia and the game against Temple, and then what you expect to see as you're back at home against USF on Saturday, please.
Well, we had really good effort by our guys. Came out, played very well. Took a lead in the fourth quarter, 24-21, and had some opportunities to be able to move that score a little further out of reach and miss those opportunities. You have to give Temple a lot of credit. I think they did a great job of being aggressive and battling back. But it was a very hard-fought game, and I was certainly disappointed with the loss, but pleased to see our players continuing to battle and find a way to be in the game.
We'll take questions for Coach Blankenship, please. Star 1 on your telephone to join the queue, then the operator will introduce you.
Dan Tortora, Broadcast Media.
Hi, Coach. How you doing today?
Hi, Dan.
I know that you were just talking about, some of the things that you thought you had, some opportunities, obviously in that game against Temple, and just what you took away from, I want to start with your quarterback, how Evans kind of handled his situation and what you thought he did to lead your team despite the loss.
Well, Dane was very poised in the game, and I think the way we were able to manage the game really played into his strengths. We were able to keep our attack balanced and gave him a lot of freedom to check and to move protections and to get things the way he needed to do it. And I thought he played fundamentally very well. I think he also cerebrally really handled the game and made really quality decisions. Stayed out of a lot of bad situations and checked into a big-time throw to Kevin Lucas for a touchdown, that was an audible that he made. And I think those are the things that we're looking for him to continue to move forward and take on more as he gets the experience that he's gaining. And really happy with his development. I think he's moving very clearly in the direction that we need him to.
It seems like your team has been making improvements in certain areas, but still getting over that hump and getting back to the winning side of things has been the issue. Where's the disconnect in your mind that's been happening with the team? When you look at offense, defense, and special teams, when you look at your group as a whole, where is the issue coming that you can improve but still be on the wrong side?
Well, I think that any time anybody tells you that winning college football games are easy, they haven't been in this very long. There's just a very thin margin from winning and losing. Even when we were in an 11-win season 2 years ago, I could go back to 5 or 6 games where there was a razor-thin margin, and we made those plays and finished with 11 wins. You could take 3 or 4 plays away from 5 or 6 games, and we could have maybe not even qualified for a bowl. Well, we're at that point where we're competing, but we're not making those 2 or 3 plays. A case in point, we have an opportunity right before the half to go up a touchdown. We're 4th and 1, and we choose to go for it. Well, we don't get it, and then we allow Temple to then move the length of the field and get a touchdown. Well, that's a 14-point swing, really, right before half. So we left a touchdown there. We missed a field goal earlier. That's 10 points that we actually, drove the field and did the things that we need to do. Those are just little things, but those are the little things that I believe are the difference in winning and losing.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
Anytime.
Do you have any other questions for Coach Blankenship? Please, star 1 on your telephone if so.
Joey Knight, Tampa Bay Times.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning, Joy.
I think it seems like you and your opponent this weekend, 2 very young teams, and Coach Taggart has mentioned a lot of times that his team is still learning how to finish games. What goes into that? Is that an intensity thing? Is that a maturity thing when you talk about a team learning how to finish?
Well, Joy, I think it's all the above. I think there's just no way to crack open heads and pour in experience. I mean, you have to go through that, but then you also have to have enough. You have to begin to have positive experiences that then you replay over and over again. And I think all those opportunities, when you begin to take younger players and they have them, then they file it away, and you're able to recapture those moments. And so I think Coach Taggart and I are very much in a similar situation with our teams. I mean, we've got good young talent and players that are playing hard, and they need those experiences to be able to finish. You know, we played 3.5 quarters very well against Temple in terms of giving ourselves a chance to win, but we didn't close it out. And teams like Temple this week, East Carolina, you know, they find ways to close out those games. And so we've done that in the past, and we've done it, you know, when I look back, consistently we had a lot of 4th and 5th year players back in 11 and in 10. And so, you know, we're trying to get to that point again, but it is a grind. And I think we're seeing our players blossom as we continue to go through the season. I still see 6 opportunities there for these young guys to be able to mesh with our older players that we have and to finish the thing out with wins. And so I think USF, South Florida, and Tulsa are in very similar positions in a sense that I think we're clawing and scratching. I don't think anybody's folded up and thrown in the towel, and we're just looking to try to capture those wins.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Joy.
Follow-up from Dan Tortora.
Yes, Dan.
Yeah, Coach. Just wanted to look a little bit more into, you know, offensively. I know you brought up Lucas, and he's been so successful, obviously the most successful on your team receiving-wise, and just where you've seen his growth and how you've seen him really be a guy that can affect a game like he has for Evans and be a guy that can be open and give him opportunities.
Well, he's just really growing his particular craft. He's never been a particularly precise route runner because he's just so strong and fast. He is in a hurry. He's learning how to slow down and to make some moves and to utilize, a matchup skill set. You know, in high school, I think he clearly was bigger and faster and stronger than the guys he played against, and so he just went where he wanted to go. Now he's learning to have to attack leverage and to use his skills to set himself up, and he's doing much better about that. He still gets in a hurry. He's still not a great route runner like a lot of smaller guys are, but he is so physical and has such strong hands that, and his competitive nature is just without a doubt one of the things that he brings.
And then as far as your running game and what you've seen from that, I know we talked about the passing attack, but how do you feel the run is complementing, you know, obviously the pass from Dane Evans? Do you feel like Langer and Flanders and the rest of the guys are doing what they need to do, or is there a higher expectation for their output right now?
Well, you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword because I can tell you internally we always have higher expectations. But by the same token, I think we have began to scratch the surface in the running game the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, probably since the Texas State game. We've been able to get the running game going enough to get us some balance in the offense. And I've always maintained that the best offenses and the ones that are the hardest to defend are the ones that where you have to spread them out and they have to defend the length of the field, the width of the field, and at the line of scrimmage. And I think the fact that Langer has really come on the scene a little more for us as a physical running back that can run the zone and the cutbacks and all those things and gain yardage, then he's giving Flanders and Dickerson and Brewer, you know, they're all going to be able to make us stronger in the run game. Our offensive line was a little, we were a little pieced together last week against Temple, but I think that's a very good defense that they have. And so for us to be able to carve out some running game against them and to do a good job physically up front, I thought was a big bonus. I think that we'll take that forward and continue to build on it.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coach, we thank you for your time today. We look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Yes, sir.